The Houston Rockets front office has been extremely busy this NBA offseason. First it was the NBA draft, and now they're making splashes in free agency. They arguably won the draft, though, with Ime Thompson and then getting Cam Whitmore at 20. But then they go out and spend 130-some million on Fred VanVleet, which is interesting. And we're going to talk about that today, why I don't think it's that bad of a deal, honestly. You also have young guys like Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun to build around. So this Rockets team is in a very, very good place, in my opinion. So make sure to hit the like button and leave me a comment as well. Stick around for the full video if you do enjoy this video at any point. Also, if you enjoy NBA offseason content, this is the place to be. About 97% of my audience is not subscribed, so just go hit that subscribe button. It takes like 2 seconds, and it means a lot to me. So if you could do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Now let's go ahead and get started. Holy moly! Fred VanVleet to the Rockets on a 3-year, $130 million contract. Now, I actually called this one in my Houston Rockets all-season preview video, and the Rockets fans, NBA community, kind of been flaming the Rockets for this contract. 19.3 points per game, 7.2 assists, 4.3 rebounds, and those are good numbers. However, I've been saying it for a while, Fred VanVleet, he's not a starting point guard on a championship team. 39% from the field, 34% from the three-point line, 1.8 steals. So he's a decent defender, not very efficient, and like I said, below 6 foot. That's not going to get it done. However, for his size, he's a good defender. But you can't bring a guy off the bench that you're paying $43 million a year. The good news is they really don't have that much money tied up for a while. Of course, you will have to extend Jalen Green in the final year of VanVleet's contract. Same thing with Sengun. But your other young guys, Jabari Smith Jr., the two you just drafted, they're still going to be under their rookie contracts by the time that extension or that contract is up. So that's the good news there. Talking about the draft, they got Ime Thompson, the 6'7" elite playmaker, and it doesn't really make sense bringing in Fred VanVleet. What is Ime just going to sit on the bench? Maybe he's not NBA ready, but he is an elite defender. So I could see, the first 2 years he sits on the bench, and then maybe Fred VanVleet for the last year of that $43 million contract comes off the bench, and you let Ime Thompson be your starting point guard. He's a very good facilitator, much better passer than Kevin Porter Jr. was, and probably better passer than Fred VanVleet, just because he always has his eyes up. He's not looking to score. Just imagine him in about 3 years spraying the rock around to all 5 of these guys right here and getting them as many shots as humanly possible. It's the perfect role for Ime Thompson. And then a steal at 20, Cam Whitmore. Holy cow. This was the number 5 player on my board just because of his elite athleticism. 6'7" wing. He's got the frame to be an elite NBA wing. And he falls all the way down the board to number 20. The Rockets absolutely got a steal right there. Tough shot maker as well. Of course, double-edged sword. He takes dumb shots, but he makes some of them, and you just got to tip your cap sometimes to Cam Whitmore. Now, the Kevin Porter Jr. role continues to get more and more questionable. Will we see a trade for KPJ here soon? He seems to be the odd man out, with them first off drafting a point guard and then signing a point guard. Does he go back to the shooting guard role? We'll see. Very similar numbers to Fred VanVleet, 19.2 points a game, 5.7 assists, and 5.3 rebounds, except for the fact that he's about 5 inches taller than Fred VanVleet. 44% from the field, 37% from 3, 1.4 steals. So, he arguably had a better season than Fred VanVleet this year. It's just the turnover things, 3.2 turnovers a night. That's not good. And he was kind of shot chucking at times. That was a walk. Holy cow. Is he going to be the trade? Is he going to be traded? Is he going to be the sixth man? Is he going to be a small forward? Right now, I've got him as the backup small forward in Houston. We'll see if he likes that role or not, although I guess he doesn't really have an option to like that role. But yeah, here's the blueprint. You've got head coach Ime Udoka. Then you've got Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum as your 2 wings. That was the blueprint in Boston for Ime Udoka. He really developed Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown into an NBA championship caliber team, and now he's got a chance to do that with 3 wings here in Houston. We already talked about Cam Whitmore. You talk about Tari Eason, who they just drafted in last year's draft, got him at number 17. Yet another steal late in the first round, or midway through the first round, 9.3 points, 6 rebounds, and about an assist per game as well. But, you might say that's not a very good rookie season. Well, he didn't play very many minutes. 45% from the field, 34% from three, 1.2 steals. The three-point percentage will need to come up if he's going to be a 3-and-D wing, but elite defender, 22 minutes per game, and he's only 22 years old heading into next year. So he's a guy that I really expect Ime Udoka to help develop. And then Jabari Smith Jr. as well, 12.8 points, 7.2 rebounds, 1.2 assists. I've had him as my number one ranked prospect in last year's draft, and he did not have a very good season. But then again, he was like the fifth option behind Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. 41% from the field, 31% from three. And when those guys are your two guards, you're not getting the ball that many times. But I feel like he's got a little bit of Tatum, a little bit of KD in him at 6'11" with his shot making. Of course, he really needs to be developed. He's extremely raw, and no way am I saying he is anywhere near close to those guys on his skill level. I'm just saying the body type kind of reminds me of them. And then you got baby Jokic, Alperen Sengun, who averaged 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists last year, and I believe his third season in Houston. And man, that was a really, really impressive year. Also a steal and a block in only 29 minutes per game. This Rockets team just has so much young talent. Any and everywhere you look, it's young guy after young guy after young guy. 55% from the field, 34% from three on one attempt. So if he's going to step out and knock down the three ball, he needs to work on that a little bit. But that is promising to see that he is taking and making plenty of threes. Again, he will be 21 years old next season, which is very, very, very good. And then a guy that I think is going to break out, even though he kind of already has had his breakout, maybe not breakout in terms of points per game, where he averaged 22 last year, about 4 rebounds and 4 assists. I think he's going to break out in terms of efficiency. He had a good year numbers-wise this year. The team just didn't win, and he was horribly inefficient. 42% from the field, 34% from three, and 34 minutes for a game. For a guy taking 20 shots a night, you got to be more efficient than that if you want to win ball games. And there's no excuse to that. The big numbers, the bad efficiency, that's where I expect him to have a breakout year next year, is in terms of being much more efficient and just helping the Rockets win more basketball games. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Now, let's take a look at the lineups, my projected lineups for next year. Again, this is at 12:51 on July 1st, so 12:51 p.m. So if any more signings occur after this video is made, you can't flame on me. But you got Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Sengun. Is that a team that's going to get you to the NBA playoffs? Likely no, but again, remember, the Thunder have their first-round pick this year. It is top 5 protected, but I'm not entrusting myself into the lottery. You can't give the fans another worst team in the NBA season, which is what you had this year, which guarantees you a top 5 pick. But you can't do that to the fans. You can't tank again just to get your draft pick. You got so much young talent, and then Fred VanVleet comes along and accelerates this timeline a little bit, and he's going to be great for guys like Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason and Cam Whitmore and even Jalen Green going out and facilitating. I imagine Ime Udoka will have a little conversation with him, telling him, hey, it's you and a little bit of Sengun. Y'all got to dish the rock out to these young guys that we got. And then you got Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Kevin Porter Jr., and KJ Martin all coming off the bench. You talk about young talent. Holy cow. Now, they still probably need to sign a backup center. A nice veteran backup center that can protect the rim, can get rebounds. That is, if you want to have a solid season this year. You still got Usman Garuba, but I'm not really entrusting any of my future into Usman Garuba. But overall, I think this has been a pretty nice offseason for the Houston Rockets. All things considered, given the situation. Y'all let me know, though, down in the comments below what y'all think. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy today's video at any point. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. Okay, just kidding. The video's not over. We got a little PS section here because while I was out at the driving range, Raphael Stone decided it was time to cook. And cook he did. On top of Fred VanVleet coming in, not the Dillon Brooks. The Houston Rockets decide to sign Dillon Brooks to a 4-year, $80 million contract to be their starting small forward for a good while now. And then they also bring in Jock Landale on a 4-year, $32 million deal. So, yeah, I know this video didn't cover it. This was more for the Fred VanVleet signing, but there will be an in-depth video on the Houston Rockets. Just know they are cooking right now. I'm a huge fan of what the Rockets are doing right now. Go ahead and spend that money before you have to extend your young guys and just build as good of a roster as you can. Yeah, they're cooking right now. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, though. Like I said, full in-depth video on the entire Houston Rockets offseason coming soon. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. But yeah, right now, do these moves make the Houston Rockets playoff contenders? I think so.